Hello again, guys. We're here in 6.5 talking about two-way frequency tables. So what we see down here is an example of a two-way frequency table. We see that the frequencies correspond to two different variables. So we have owning a bicycle as a variable and gender as a variable. So one variable is used to categorize two rows and the other variable is used to categorize our two columns. And we see that there's at least two rows and two columns. There could be more. And we'll see examples of that as we go. Joint frequency comes inside of the table, and an entry in the total row or total column is marginal frequency. So go ahead and make a two-way frequency table to represent this data. Survey asked 170 freshmen and sophomores, so there's freshmen and sophomores, hint hint, whether they preferred math or English. Of the 87 freshmen, 36 said that they preferred math, and 83 sophomores, 27 said they preferred English. You should be able to figure out the math to solve for the other values. If you have yet to create your own table, pause the video and do so now. When I analyze the numbers that I'm given, with 87 total freshmen, 37 preferring math, I can just find the difference between them to solve for the rest of the freshmen. So I see here that I get 51 that preferred English. And then I do the same with the sophomores, 83 total, 27 preferred English, so I find out that 56 preferred math. I need to have both a total row and a total column, and then my grand total down here at the bottom right. Try to do the same thing here with numbers 1 and 2 by creating two-way frequency tables for both of them. Number 1, I've gone ahead and highlighted the values that we had to find on our own, just in case you're having any issues with that. So of the 138 males, 97 said they preferred the internet. So we find the difference between that to be 41 to have their preference be the newspaper. And then of the 157 females, see that as my total, 32 said they preferred the newspaper, so that's right here, and we find the difference between those, find the internet. Notice again that here my 73 and my 222 are the totals of newspaper and internet. They add up to 295, and so do the totals of the male and the female. Number 2, I haven't really highlighted anything for you, but your table should look something very similar to this. So here in the Got It, make sure you work through the Pearson module to make it here. But then I've gone ahead and highlighted, giving you a little bit of hints for the joint and the marginal relative frequency. Remember, joint is inside my table and marginal happens inside those total areas. Pause the video and figure out both the answers for A and B. So I've changed my highlighting to help you out here. The women who saw movie B, I find my joint frequency on the side of the table to be about 0.43. And then the total people who saw movie A is about 0.51 or 51%. So here in 3, we want to make a relative frequency table. So we have the frequency table, but we want to make the relative frequency table. So we're talking about the decimal percent values. So you're going to take part and divide by totals. Of course, we're taking each of these individual values in the table and dividing by our total frequency down here. So when I find the relative frequencies for each of them, of course that 295 has a relative frequency of 1. All the other, I almost say percent values because they're the decimal form of the percent, you can see there. So then if we look for the joint relative frequency of females who preferred the internet, so you'd look for females who preferred the internet, and that would take you to 0.42. We see our answer right there. And then we're looking for the marginal relative frequency of people who preferred a newspaper. So marginal is going to be total. People who preferred a newspaper is right about 1/4 or 0.25. So a conditional relative frequency is different because here we would divide a joint frequency by that frequency's row total or column total. So instead of taking the entire total, we'd only use the row or the column total. Go ahead and work through the Pearson module till you get to this Got It, and come back when you're ready to check your answers. So you would either need to complete this table to turn it into a frequency table, or just think about your totals, which I've listed out here. So my totals of 18 to 25, totals of 26 to 64, and then everyone else greater than or equal to 64 or 65. Sorry, I missed that total there. So that would be 101. So then when we think about the conditional relative frequency that a person surveyed opposed, so we look at our opposed row here, and then was between 18 and 25, so we use that column. So to find the conditional relative, we'll take this 19 and divide it by 100. When we look at B, we're looking at the conditional relative frequency that a person surveyed opposed the bond issue given that person's age was between 26 and 64. So now we would look at oppose the bond issue, but now between 26 and 64, and divide by that total. So that would change our division to by 102. This then I can see my values here would be about 0.19, 0.44, and go ahead and give you the answers for C and D as well. So in number 5 here, you want to start by finding your totals for the rows and the columns, and then answer A, B, and C, and come back to check your answers. So for A, talking about whether a person in first, second, or third position reached base, so 9 of them reached base out of the 12 of them in first, second, or third, so that division will give me 0.75. In fourth, fifth, or sixth position, 6 out of the total 10 reached, so that would be 0.6 or 6/10. And then 2/9 simplifies out to 0.2, repeating forever. All right, try 7 through 10 here. Come back only to check your answer. I'm not going to color code anything or help you at all. We want to see if you really know what you're doing at this point. All right, so here you go. Your answers for 7, 8, 9, and 10 right there. So that is all I have for you guys today. Please make sure all of this makes sense. It is our last topic here in Chapter 6, so be ready for your test coming up here very soon. Aside from that, please let me know if there's anything I can do to help you out, and I will see you in class. Have a wonderful day.